Are you at the stage where you're wondering what your retirement might look like? I certainly am. Life after work should be a time of enjoyment and opportunity, but a lot of Australians are feeling uneasy about it. According to the latest Brighter Super and Investment Trends Income Survey, the gap between the income pre-retirees expect to receive versus what they think they'll need for a comfortable retirement has widened. Jennifer McSpadden, the head of retirement for Brighter Super, is here to give us some tips on how to close that gap. Jen, good to see you. When you start thinking about pre-retirement, what are some of the big questions people are asking?
Well, it's funny because while we all have very different lives, we actually have a lot in common when it comes to thinking about retirement and a lot of common questions. And probably the top question that we hear a lot is, how much do I actually need to have a comfortable retirement? And also, am I on target to actually reach that state of comfortable retirement? What follows from that then is often a question about, well, how can I grow my super while I'm working? And the good news is there are a lot of ways to grow your super while you're working that we can help you with.
I was interested in the Brighter Super Investment Trends Income Survey, and you asked people in the survey, what advice would they give their younger self about retirement?
It's a really good question, and in fact, the reason why it's good to listen to people who've been there, done that, is because it's almost like getting an insider's tip on how to get ahead. The first thing that they would say is start saving into your super sooner, because they've worked out that it is really a tax-effective way to save for your retirement. The second thing they would say is cut back on your spending a bit sooner, which isn't as much fun, but if you tip that into your super savings, that's a really great way to save some more. The third thing that they wish that they had done when they were younger was actually seek financial advice and guidance, because not only can that give you some tips on how to get on track and stay on track, our research shows that seeking guidance and advice significantly increases retirement preparedness. Finally, they thought that they should have perhaps looked at how they were invested and put their money into something that would give them a bit more growth. They also thought perhaps I should have retired a bit later. That's something for people to consider. We're living longer, and because of that, every dollar counts.
Okay, give us some tips on how to prepare better for a comfortable retirement.
Probably just like anything that you do, it's about just making the first step, and small steps can make such a big difference. So we know that people have a lot of questions, and at Brighter Super, we have many ways to answer those questions. So you might like to look at our newsletter, play with calculators on our website. You might like to look at a webinar or come to a seminar where they might actually get to meet you, David. You might like to actually book a super or a retirement health check with one of our 40 super specialists. And if you've got some questions that may need a bit more comprehensive guidance, then we have financial advisors that can help you with that, but there's plenty of ways.
Is there anything else you should consider?
Some people think, I'll just finish work at the end of the year and that's it. But actually what we find is that people boomerang back to work, or they work part-time, they make some money out of their side hustle. Also, thinking about how you will spend your time in retirement is really important. Yep. The first 6 months can be very much a honeymoon period, but ultimately that time passes, you're no longer spending as much time with family and friends. So what will you do with your time also helps you think, well, how much money will I need to sustain that? And also, when can I retire? At Brighter Super, we help our members across all their retirement journey.
Jen, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.